Welcome to the Crochet Hangout. I'm Kendra, and today we will be making the Easter egg striped dishcloth. This dishcloth would be an excellent addition to springtime dishwashing. It combines variegated and solid colored yarns in a striped pattern and simple shaping, all in single crochet. This project would be an excellent way to use leftover cotton scraps from other dishcloth projects, and you could vary the striping progression if you wished. The required materials for the Easter egg striped dishcloth are Lily Sugar and Cream or any 100% cotton yarn of your choice. In this case, we are using color A, Beach Ball Blues, color B, Rose Pink, and color C, Mod Blue. You will also need a crochet hook, size I, 5.50 millimeters. This is an ergonomic handled hook, but an ordinary metal hook would work just as well. You will also require a tapestry needle. Overall, gauge is not required for this pattern. Just use a comfortable hook size for you when it comes to using cotton yarn, and try and maintain even tension. This will help your egg to come out the appropriate shape. To get your own printable copy of the Easter egg striped dishcloth printable PDF pattern, you can head over to www.crochethangout.com, where you will find patterns, tutorials, and more. We're going to begin our dishcloth with color A. We're going to start by making a simple slip knot, which means you're just going to wrap your yarn around 2 fingers, slide your hook between, draw up a loop, and tighten. Now that you are hooked onto your hook, we're going to foundation single crochet 3. To complete a foundation single crochet, you're just going to yarn over and chain 2. We're going to insert our hook in the first chain we made, making sure we have both the front and back loop on top of our hook. We're going to yarn over and draw up a loop. This creates the chain of our first foundation single crochet. We're going to yarn over and draw up a loop to begin our single crochet stitch. Yarn over and through both loops on your hook to complete your first foundation single crochet. Then we're going to insert our hook into that chain stitch that we made, making sure we have both the front and back loop on top of our hook. Yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw up a loop to begin our stitch, yarn over through both loops on our hook to finish our single crochet. And then for our third foundation single crochet, again, just going into the chain stitch, yarning over, drawing up a loop, yarn over, draw up a loop to begin your single crochet, yarn over through the 2 loops on your hook to finish it off. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Row 2 is going to be a repeat of 2 single crochets in each stitch across. So we're going to draw up a loop through the 2 loops on our hook. To complete our single crochet, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the next stitch and 2 single crochets in our third stitch. In each stitch, we're going to make sure that we have both the front and back loops accounted for. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Row 3 is going to begin with 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And we're going to finish our row with 2 single crochets in our last stitch. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Row 4 is once again going to begin with 2 single crochets in our first stitch. We're going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. And 2 single crochets in our final stitch. Now At this point, we're going to chain 1, but we're going to switch to color B in this process. Color B is our rose pink. So before we do our chain 1 of row 4, instead of drawing up color A, we're going to draw up a loop of color B. I like to then just go ahead and trim the tail of color A because we're going to work over our tails as we go to prevent needing to weave them in at the end. So I'm going to take both my tails and drop them to the back, yarn over, and make a chain. So basically what we did is we slip stitched to join that pink, and then we did our chain 1, and now we turn our work, and we're going to begin row 5. Just going to start with 2 single crochets in our first stitch. And as you can see, I'm just working over the tails, just leaving them along the top of my stitches. They'll just get crocheted in. We're going to single crochet 1 in each of the next 8 stitches. And when you get to where you think that your ends are woven in long enough, just drop them to the back. You can trim them later. I've done my 8 stitches, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in our final stitch. Chain 1, and turn our work. I'm just going to go ahead and trim these right now so that they're not in our way. Okay, on to round 6. We're going to put 2 single crochets in our first stitch and single crochet in the next 10 stitches. And we're going to put 2 single crochets in our final stitch, chain 1, and turn our work. Row 7 is going to begin with 2 single crochets in our first stitch, and we're going to single crochet in the next 12 stitches. We're going to end the row with 2 single crochets in our final stitch. And then in our chain 1, we're going to switch to color C. We're going to use the same procedure we used in our last color change. I'm just going to grab the end of my blue. I'm going to draw up a loop as a slip stitch to join. I'm going to clip color B. Draw both tails behind, yarn over, and draw up a loop. Just give a little tug on the blue, make sure everything's snugged up nice. Turn our work. So I've walked you through till the end of row 8. At this point, you know all the skills that you need to increase the shaping of your egg. That involves putting 2 stitches in the first and last stitch on the rows that are indicated in the pattern. I've also shown you how to change your yarn and work over the tails to prevent needing to weave them in at the end. The last skill that you're going to need to know how to do is a single crochet 2 together, which is going to be the decrease used throughout the pattern. Beginning in row 20, you're going to be instructed to a single crochet 2 together. The way you complete this is by inserting your hook in the first stitch, draw up a loop, insert your hook in the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over through all 3 loops on your hook. As you can see, we took 2 stitches on the bottom and turned them into 1 stitch on the top. This decrease is going to be very important in the shaping of your egg. We'll get to the end of the row and then I'll just show you how to single crochet 2 together again on the other end. Okay, so you can see we're at the last 2 stitches. We're just going to insert our hook in the first one and draw up a loop, into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and through all 3 loops on our hook. Once again, you can see how we took 2 stitches on the bottom and single crochet them together to make 1 stitch on the top. You can see how this will draw in your rows in the same way that putting 2 stitches in a given space will help your egg to form out. To complete the rest of your Easter egg striped dishcloth, head over to www.crochethangout.com. Get your own copy of the printable PDF pattern, which will walk you through the instructions and the exact stitch counts. And here we have our finished Easter egg striped dishcloth. To get your own printable copy of the PDF pattern, head over to www.crochethangout.com, where you'll find patterns, tutorials, and more. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you next time. Bye!